Good evening, everyone. Can I ask you all please stand for the pledge? Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's town board meeting. It's July 8th, 2025. I'm going to jump around a little bit. I'm going to run down to Councilwoman Smalley's number one item.
My report this evening is from the Police Department. As per Chief Pololiva, we have authorization to extend an offer of employment to Police Officer Michael Remy. Effective July 9th, 2025, salary per the collective bargaining agreement with the PBA.
Honorable Town Board members, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. In order to fill a vacancy that we had for a recent retirement, the Police Department went through the process of interviewing several candidates. We come up with one great one. Mr. Michael Remy grew up in Thornwood, New York, attended Westlake High School. He went on to Iona College and received a degree from there, and then he continued on to get his master's degree at Manhattanville. So he is a fantastic candidate, and we're happy to have him, and tonight I'd like to request authorization to offer him full-time employment.
Do I make a motion now?
If you would.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Police Officer Candidate Michael Remy.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Congratulations. Thank you.
At this time, it's my honor to swear you in as Mount Pleasant Police Officer. Let me get the... You want all of this?
I could do that.
Right hand on the hat and the left hand on the Bible. Okay. And you repeat after me. State your name.
Michael Remy,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to uphold the Constitution of the United States,
to uphold the Constitution of the United States,
Constitution of the State of New York,
Constitution of the State of New York,
the rules and regulations of the Mount Pleasant Police Department,
the rules and regulations of the Mount Pleasant Police Department,
and I will faithfully and impartially
and I will faithfully and impartially
discharge all the duties incumbent upon me,
discharge all the duties that
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as a police officer
as a police officer
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
So, Officer Remy's family is here tonight, but his dad is a Vietnam veteran. I'm going to ask him to come up and pin badge number 145 on him, please. Thank you for your service. All right, don't hurt him.
Purple on
There you go. All right, Mike, this is new. You're going to open it up.
Need some oil.
Hang on.
I don't want to drop the Bible.
Come on. And I can't see what's on my one.
Instructions on that?
There we go. I got it.
I'm more nervous than you.
There goes the suit.
My pleasure. So now I'm going to ask you to-
Now, we're going to make it official. He's got to sign the book over here.
Thank you. Congratulations again.
Appreciate it.
Welcome.
All right, Mike, you know what?
Thank you. Chief, congratulations. Congrats. Good luck. Congratulations. Do well.
Sure. Chief, you want family?
Family pictures there?
We have you guys come up, we'll take a couple of good
Good night, guys.
Congratulations.
Take care.
Okay, moving on to our regular scheduled meeting here. First item on supervisor's report will be to call for a public hearing to consider proposed local law prohibiting battery energy storage systems within the town. Current moratorium ends September 11, 2025. The local law is not yet posted for public review on the town's website. It will be made available along with the public hearing notice pending town board approval to schedule the public hearing. You want to pick a date? August 12th. 8 p.m. will be the public hearing. 7?
7 p.m.
Okay. August 12th, 7 p.m.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item is call for a public hearing to increase water rates for 2025 and 2026 for all town water districts. Per David Smith, traditionally, water bills go out September 30th for June through September 1st cycle. If approved on September 30th or hopefully earlier, then bills could go out the week later, but would push due date out 2 weeks later also. Please note the proposed water rates are not yet published. That they will be on the town's website, available along with the public hearing notice pending town board approval tonight. And we want to do that same August 12th. August 12th, 7 p.m.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second.
second by Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Just for information, the water rates have not changed. I think it's almost 6 years. But unfortunately, our city water supply has been increasing our rates, and we've been absorbing them all this time. Now it's time where we can no longer absorb them. We have to pass it on. Next item is call for a public hearing for proposed local law amending building lot coverage within the Valhalla Hamlet zoning district. We'll schedule that for the same, August 12th, 7 p.m. The proposed local law is not yet posted for public view on the town's website. It will be made available along with the public hearing notice pending town board approval this evening.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 4, refer proposed amendments to the Valhalla Hamlet Zone Limit Floor Area Ratio to properties adjacent across street from residential zone from 1.0 floor area ratio to 0.5 floor area ratio to the planning board.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Mark,
Second.
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, purchase order 135-2506, 2526 tax map maintenance services for the assessor's office. Let me just get some details on that. Company is Lero GIS Incorporated. They're out of Mineola, New York. Total cost for the service is $13,527.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, purchase order 1622503, plan review for PepsiCo Building 350 project. It's 350 Columbus Avenue. Let's see. JHW plan review. Total cost $4,950. Let's see what the actual cost.
I don't think they gave us that.
I don't think they have that.
Doesn't have it on.
No.
No.
Generally, it says how much the permit fee was.
Oh, it says on the agenda, construction cost was $2 million.
That's right. I can't read
Okay, there you
right
go.
30,094.
Yeah. It's a big
Yeah,
project.
it's a $2 million project. Building department fees, $30,094.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second.
second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, authorization to remove 1 Charles Court from County Sawmill Sewer District. We get this periodically when somebody has no opportunity to be able to connect into a county sewer system. They've been paying tax to the county for that. This gives them an opportunity to be removed from that fee. Let's see. Yes, 1 Charles Court in Chappaqua.
Move for approval, please. Resolution 272-25.
Motion by Tom,
Second?
second by Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is correction of a tax bill for parcel number 106.10-5-24 due to a revision. Request for the town board resolution authorizing the receiver of taxes department to remove past real estate taxes in the amount of $432.92 for a parcel approximately 2/10 of an acre located on King Street in Pleasantville. This is being done to reflect changes made by the assessor's office, namely the update of the owner to unknown on the 24 assessment roll.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second?
second by Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is authorization to enter into an agreement with the town of Newcastle for the installation of police equipment on Whippoorwill Water Tower.
Move for approval?
We've been working on this for quite a long time. We finally were able to get an agreement together with Whippoorwill Country Club and town of Newcastle so we can mount equipment on the water tank up in Whippoorwill.
I'll second that, please.
I'll move.
Motion by Mark, second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is authorization to waive the statutory 30-day waiting period for on-premises liquor license for Fabian Pizza LLC, DBA Valhalla Pizza Station, 18 Broadway in Valhalla. Normal procedure, we do this to help the business owners get their liquor license.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Authorization to approve street closing permits. First one is for Jonathan Batista to close Greenwood Lane from 28 Greenwood Lane to 30 Greenwood Lane on Sunday, August 31st, from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. A rain date of Saturday, September 6th, 2025, from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. is requested. Second one is Marie Maldonado, authorization is requested to close Pythian Avenue from Weed Avenue to Serrano Avenue on Saturday, September 20th, from noon to 11:30 p.m. No rain date is requested.
Move for approval.
Motion by Mark,
Second.
second by Danielle, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The investment report, current rate of interest is 3.75%. Moving on to business from the floor. Anyone wish to address the board is welcome to do so at this time.
Did you sign in? I did, yeah. So, yeah, come to the mic.
Good evening. My name is Robin Farrell. I live at
Closer.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Robin Farrell. I live at 311 Tuxedo Place, which is off 9A.
So I just wanted to speak about the law banning the BESS storage, the BESS battery systems. My biggest concern is that the moratorium is expiring on September 11th. And I think it's amazing that you guys want to respect people's summer and make sure that everybody has an opportunity to discuss at a public comment in August. But that means that if nothing happens, because it would be an August public comment, that we will then be out of the moratorium probably before there is a vote made. And we know at least there are at least 2 proposals waiting in the wings that are going to pretty much immediately submit as soon as that moratorium expires. So I don't know what the solution is, but I have a huge concern about that. I'm also wondering, I know there was conversation about whether there would be a total ban versus language just dealing with proximity towards residential areas, watershed areas, hospitals, Westchester County Police, things like that. So I'm sure as you speak with the lawyers, if that is something that you're going to be addressing versus just the kilowatt restriction.
My understanding at this point, Chris, you correct me, but I believe it's 100% banned at this point.
Right, yeah, and I just wasn't sure if
That language will be available probably next few days.
Yeah.
You'll have that.
My other question was how the tabletop exercises as well as the emergency management plans are coming into place, because although we will have this ban on the battery storage, we do still have 2 in town. So my hope is that that is being addressed as well as the emergency management plans. And this is where that quiet part is said out loud, meaning it probably should stay in my head, but I'm going to say it out loud. And that is, I have a concern that with so many issues that we're going to, 1, run out of the moratorium, and then 2, elections are happening in November. And I just want to make sure that the concern for resident safety is still there. And that it's not just something that's going to be adjusted and dropped. I'm worried that because we already have 2 in the town, that we already have a developer that has taken over 2 parcels on 9A and is ready to take over a 3rd, that there is, I want to make sure that we are really committed to this and staying committed to a ban of these large-scale, multi-kilowatt storage. Not just I get that you guys are going to look into home stuff like that, but these bigger ones worry me. And there's been so much conversation about adding on to the table, making tabletop, adding on to the emergency management plans. And I know things take time, but I'm very concerned that it hasn't happened, that we don't have updated policy, and that the moratorium is set to expire possibly before the law could be set in place. So I just have these time frame worries.
Our number 1 reason for banning this is for public safety. That's why we're doing this. Has nothing to do with elections or anything like that. The purchaser did not buy this property. To my knowledge, he has not bought this property. He may eventually, I don't know. but he can't put battery storage on there right now unless technology happens to change years down the road that makes it a safe facility. But the way it stands right now, he cannot put it there with this with this legislation. So nothing will happen there on that property. As far as the public safety issue, I know that Tom is working with Chief of Police, fire departments, Westchester County, to establish safety protocols for BSS systems.
Yeah.
So it's not, doesn't happen like this. What
Yeah.
we are, everybody has their own little things they wanna, let's make sure we do this, make sure we do that.
And I totally heard it at the work session. It was really nice to hear like the thoughtful conversation between like, we can't do the total ban, right? Because some people have these storage systems, right? So it wasn't like, there's so much thought going into it, which I really respect and appreciate. I've lived in Mount Pleasant my whole life. I was on Lorenz, now we're over in Tuxedo, and this is the first time I've ever been involved, like coming to all the meetings and listening, and I really do appreciate all of it. And then at the same time, seeing all the work that everyone's putting into it, I panic a little that we're so close to the expiration of the moratorium.
Legal counsel does not feel we have to worry about it.
Right, he said there was like 60 days and there's the
Yeah,
buffer.
there's a little,
Yeah, okay.
I also, I mean, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I believe that the moratorium expires after we may have ample time to do it. I think, I can't say for sure, but I believe it's the second Thursday in September when the moratorium expires, which means we would have a work session and a business meeting after Labor Day. But again, I don't know, where we'll be at legally.
On the 11th?
Yeah, the September 11th.
So you would have a meeting at the beginning of September.
Right.
if you-
So,
Yes, so
And people are reminded, they can always submit letters to provide their comments. They can email them in. So if people can't make it to that August meeting, there are still opportunities for them to have their opinions be heard.
So like Mark said, but your fear of legal ramifications and not voting before the 11th, I think the goal is to vote before the 11th. So that, and then, like the supervisor said, it's a complete ban.
Robin, I think you were there at our meeting,
I
right?
was, yeah.
And you heard that.
Absolutely, and like that's why
Okay.
I remember him saying like we have that 60-day window, but then you and Mark were saying yeah, but I'm a little worried, like because I'm kind of in that same like small panic spiral, like with that
so
lapse.
we don't have a meeting at the end of August like we
Right.
normally do.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
But we
that's
will-
what,
this
and
month.
then
But
and
we
then
will
I
have
also
one.
like appreciated the fact you were like no, but we want to make sure like we have time for public comment, right? Because it's summer and people are away. So I totally respect that balance.
And we're not in a rush to approve it at the next meeting. If we feel that more discussion is necessary, we will continue it, because I'm not concerned about somebody trying to slip this in after the moratorium. I'm really not. We'll make sure that doesn't happen.
Right, that was my concern too. I was like, it's like close by. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for coming out.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, you know me, Fran Carlucci, yes, I did. I'm not going to repeat what Robin said because she hit most of the points.
More to the.
But I do just want to say, and I understand, I appreciate you're confident we'll get this done, we'll get it in, no one's going to slip through. But I just know it was exactly 2 years ago, July 23, I went to my first meeting on this topic. 2 years. So I keep sending out emails. You know, we have our site. You know, I have people on the distribution for that Stop Mount Pleasant Battery. I keep telling people until it's done, I don't believe it's done. That's nothing against any of you. I believe your commitment, and I believe you're going to follow through. But unless, I'm doing the Harry Truman. I want to see it. I want it done. 2 years I've been coming here about this.
2 years, we all
2
learned
years.
a lot of
I know.
too. And we're listening.
Were you going to say something, Lauren?
July 23rd, you had a meeting here?
July of 2023, whatever the
July of
board meeting was.
2023.
That was the
I see,
fir-
okay.
Correct. That was the first time this came up because that was when we all had the first visual of that storage facility behind the church.
I see.
And that's when we went by going, what the hell is this? And then that's when that July and August, the fire department started coming. I started coming. Just saying, it's 2 years. And I know it was a learning process, and I know you've all taken in a lot of information. And again, no doubt on your commitment, But seeing is believing. I ain't gonna believe it till it's signed, sealed, and delivered, so.
And I appreciate that, and I'm sure my colleagues do also. But, you know, they always say that government, the wheels run slowly.
Yeah.
And would be remiss if we didn't spend the time to study it. There would always be the other side of the coin, and they would be critical of us for not spending the time. And we have, each one of us. And I appreciate you and Robin and everyone else who's come up and spoken to us. Thank you.
Yeah, and I do think you're going to have a lighter attendance, right, in August with people on vacation. We're going to encourage people to send the emails. We're going to encourage people to, if they can't physically be here. But I know the impact, the visual impact of people in the seats is strong. It may not happen in that time period. That's a big vacation window. Sorry, you guys can't be on vacation, but that's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Hello, Rebecca Bello. I live on Beverly Road. I've been here a couple of times ago, and again, Robin was excellent and very eloquent in all of the concerns that she, highlighted. So I was just wondering if there is,
Go more to the mic, please.
if there is some further concerns. Do you feel confident in making decisions? Do you have enough information going forward for changing the code, is it?
We do. That's what we have proposed.
That's what you've been
proposing a local
working
law.
on, and
Yep.
and that's available on your website?
It will be
It will
this
be.
week.
Okay. And I was wondering if the moratorium could be pushed out a little bit. No.
We did that.
Legally, can't do that.
Yeah, generally, a lot of law says a year, which is what we're coming up against. So.
Okay.
Sometimes you can, but it's tough, and I think we're in pretty good shape with what we have.
Yeah.
We have a really, I think you'll be pleased with the law that we're proposing.
Okay.
I think. And
Yes.
as we said before, I don't know what will happen at the public hearing myself, but
Right.
as far as I hope that we would be able to close the public hearing and vote on this matter prior to the moratorium expiring.
Okay.
That's the goal. But
Okay.
again, to Fran's point, you don't believe it till you see it. I don't believe it till I see it either. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
I'm hoping that will be the case.
I believe it.
Yeah,
believe it too.
and I
believe
was
it too.
wondering about the, you had said something, and I'm a little hard of hearing, so, something about the protocols for the safety of the facilities that we have so far. Is that available online, or what?
That's being worked on, Tom.
Thomas and
Yeah,
George.
with respect to safety, we're working with the Mount Pleasant Chiefs Association and local fire departments to develop an operational plan, a safety plan. God forbid if there is a fire in one of these facilities. Our next step is a tabletop drill, which I spoke to the chief recently, a few days ago. We're going to schedule that where all the stakeholders, the county hazmat unit, all the fire chiefs, the first responders, Con Ed, hopefully a representative from the manufacturer that each manufacturer of each facility is also participating, but we're taking action. So if something does happen, we know exactly how to respond, what we have to do, what our responsibilities are. If there's an evacuation plan, we're going to know exactly how to notify our residents and what action to take. So all of that's being done. The good news is we have 2 smaller units. The other good news, in the last 2 years, to Fran's point, there's been no other approvals of any other facilities in this town. So, but
So far, so good, but will the residents be apprised of what the plan is for these, for the safety of these
yeah,
facilities?
we're going to have information presentation, the chief's gonna do a presentation, but the key is, I was a lieutenant in New York City Fire Department, worked in Chinatown, so I have a lot of experience in these matters. The key is that the first responders, that a first and second do, know exactly what to do and know their responsibilities, and it's done in a proper sequence to not only contain the fire, but also have a mitigation plan for the runoff.
Okay, and then
Yeah,
the
but
residents
all
will give
details-
us information.
Yeah, we'll do a presentation.
Presentation.
Public document, yeah.
Okay.
Everything's gonna be open, and
Do you have an idea about when that might be? Will that be in the fall?
right now we have vacation months, so we're coordinating it with the chief and other agencies, other stakeholders. But once we have a schedule, we'll do the tabletop drill. That information that we get from that drill is disseminated to all the units. And then we'll have an actual physical drill on the properties, where it's like a rehearsal. It's almost like
Right.
rehearsing for a play.
Yeah.
You want all the units there and everyone knowing their responsibilities and making sure they're very confident.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Stay tuned. Anyone else like to address the board?
Did you sign in?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, Kurt Myers, 65 North Kensico Avenue. Haven't been here since the May 13th meeting, where I know it got a little loud, people complaining about what's happening at 75 right next door to me. So I was just here because I saw the other proposal, the floor area ratio, which certainly is not what everybody was asking for at that meeting, understandably, and I haven't mapped it out to see is the proposal we saw actually less than more than 50%. But in any case, I'll take a win as a win. I'll take what little pieces we can get. That's good. So I appreciate you guys looking at that.
The recommendation's going to the planning board for them to hash it out and find out what might work.
Oh, okay.
They may adjust it, you never know.
Okay, yeah, no, I know the 75 is going there, but I'm saying the floor ratio rule you put in, I would assume, I gotta again go back to the original proposal and kind of see, but I would assume that would kind of scale that down a little bit. Was there anything in there or anything in the code today that talks about how high it can be? What's the number of stories in the Valhalla?
Yes, in our master plan.
I thought
The master plan.
In the master plan.
In the master plan.
Comprehensive plan,
Yes.
yeah.
I'll take a look, but, so that's fine. The only other thing I wanted to talk about is, and again, I don't want to get loud, I don't want to get argumentative or even need an answer today, but back on that May 13th meeting, I know a lot of things were said. If you remember, I pulled up this map, right, the zoning map, and I said it just kind of seemed weird that it went around instead of just moving up. I went back and I saw the planning board meeting that happened in November, and all three of them said the same thing. They're like, why don't you, and to use their words, square it off? And they said, well, we'll put that in our recommendation to the town board too, to look at squaring this off. So when I asked you this question on the 13th, understandably, you didn't have a full answer, but you're like, I said, why was it this way? And you said, I'll get back to you on that, or we'll have to look into that.
Just on that point, the town board was taken back a little bit because the communication from the planning board did not come to the town board on that recommendation. If it did, that would have been a whole different story. It could have simply been addressed.
Yeah.
At that point. We had to dig out that information and find out we were not notified. And believe me, the planning board did hear about that.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm not looking to play blame. I'm just saying, I hear it in a meeting said 3 times, and yeah, I dug around, found the paper that went to you, and all of a sudden it was missing from there. And I'm just asking why. I'm not
So
saying
we've
anything.
actually changed the process now. There's like a chart that you have to follow. Planning board, town board, zoning board.
Okay.
So these things don't happen again.
Because that's all, again, at that March 13th meeting, or May 13th meeting, you said, I don't know the exact reason, but we'll find out. So you're saying you found out
We
now?
did.
Because, yeah, I did send that email on the 16th to all of you guys, but I know that you get a ton of emails. You may never have seen it or whatever, and I never got a response back to that email asking for the follow-up
It's not the
from that
greatest
meeting.
answer, but I think it was just human error. I mean,
Yeah.
we look back at the recommendation from the planning board in writing, and it did not include that. So then we went back to the
And
tape
watched
and
the
watched the video.
Okay, so you saw the same thing I did?
Yes.
3 times
And-
they said square it off.
Mr. Supervisor addressed that with the planning board, and at the same time, we have also implemented new procedures recently, well, fairly recently, where we now go to attend meetings. Each board member takes turns and actually takes notes and watches every meeting to try to prevent more, human error. That's all it could be attributed to, unfortunately.
Okay. So I guess I'll wait until I see when the next planning board meeting that we'll talk about 75 to bring up any other concerns. We'll keep an eye out for that. And like I said, I'll take a look. I'm assuming that this 50% is somewhat in relation to some of the concerns people brought up about the 75, correct? Okay.
Mr. Just
Thank you.
to address one more other thing that you said that no one got back to you. Usually, if someone sends an email, it's addressed to the supervisor, maybe with town board next or CC town board, we tend to, and rightly so, defer to the supervisor to respond, because we all feel that he's the person that's responsible and in charge, okay? I think with this issue, and I apologize if you expected an individual response from all of us.
I was looking for anyone. Again, I'm new to this. I didn't know if you
Okay.
had a group mailbox that would have been better. That's what I was asking. If you didn't have an answer for me today, I wouldn't bother you for the answer today. I'd say, okay, let me send it
Okay.
to
No, I
wherever
just
it
don't
gets
want-
recorded.
I don't want anyone to feel that we don't respond.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying is that sometimes we'll defer because you don't need to have 5 different people responding. Yes, we do read everything.
Okay.
And we might just acknowledge that we've gotten it and say thank you, or if individually questioned, then it's just protocol. You
Got
know,
it. I just hadn't gotten a response, so I didn't know if there was a
Okay.
better way for me to send it.
I apologize for not responding, but we were probably in the midst of trying to find out why
Yeah.
we weren't communicated on this issue. So it was a matter of digging up some information, looking at the meetings and trying to find out why weren't we told this? Yeah.
Okay.
And we all do. The supervisor, all of us try and get back to people, and you're right. We do have a lot of mail that comes in, and it's not that you're not important. You're all important, every single one of you, so, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address the board? Okay, we'll move on to our town clerk's report. Emily?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, everyone. Town Clerk's Report, Town Board Meeting, July 8th, 2025. Received and filed the fully executed hold harmless agreements for 862 Linda Avenue and 766 Warren Avenue. 2 Zoning Board of Appeals resolutions for Stephen and Peter Sun at 285 Warren Avenue and the estate of Charlotte Walsh at 94 Robert Place, and also the confirmation of filing with the Westchester County, the amendment of the town Valhalla Hamlet zoning district, which is the law we were just talking about.
Thank you. Moving on to our council reports. Councilman Saliano.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My reports from the Controller's Office. The following claims are submitted for Town Board approval. The Controller, Capital Markets Advisors, LLC, $682.50. From Attorney, Harris Beach, PLLC, $8,156.47. General Election, Westchester County Finance Department, $56,098. This was election-related cost. From the category Special Consulting Services, Sustainable Westchester, $1,000. Off-street parking, Mid-Westchester Lawn Service Incorporated, $1,000. Public safety, Stephanie Zapatal, First Responder, Warning S. Paros Gun Shop and Police Supplies, $8,182. From the category Bradhurst Community Center, Better Home Sewage Incorporated, $4,893. From the pool, Ray Palmer Associates, Incorporated. Streamline Aquatics LLC, PVS Mini Bulk Incorporated, $7,121. From the category of Capital Old Farm Water District, Charles A. Magnanero, $44,422.50. This is replacement of water mains Phase 3, Old Farm Water District. Mechanical Water District Number 1, George Coyle Chemical Company, $3,784.96. And from Kensico Water, Denora Water Technologies LLC, $3,750. The grand total for the controller's memo, $139,090.43. Respectfully ask the board for a motion of approval, please.
Motion by Tom,
Second?
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Great, thanks so much. We have another item for you, the second item, in the Controller's Office. Authorization for budgetary amendments and transfers. This is from Noreen McGinty. She's our Controller. And again, this is for budgetary amendments and transfers. Authorization for various department budget amendments and transfers. See breakdown below. The first item, we're going to transfer $9,140 from line B, 3120.250 to B, 3120.220. This transfer is to cover the cost of upfitting the final two 2023 Police Department Tahoes. The second transfer, amend budget due to increase in New York State DOT state aid increase. Line DB 5110.411, blacktop pipe and metal grates, $312,192.56. This is an expense. Line DB 3000.3087, state aid multimodal, $59,250.63. This is a revenue. DB 3000.3501, consolidated highway aid, $42,728.43. This is a revenue. Line DB 3000.3503, state aid, pave New York, $138,198.98. This is a revenue. And the final line on this second item is DB 3000.3504, state aid, EWR, $72,014.52. This is classified as a revenue. The third transfer is $1,619.34 from B 7110.240 to B 7112.443. The transfer is to cover the cost of an emergency repair at the Bradhurst Community Center. The fourth transfer. Transfer $1,600 from B 112.420 to B 7112.403, and this transfer is to cover the cost of gas expenditures to heat Bradhurst Community Center. I ask the board to approve these budgetary amendments and transfers, please.
Motion by Tom,
Second.
second by Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And the last item from the Comptroller's Office is authorization to promote Michelle Knapp to the title of Junior Accountant in the Comptroller's Office effective July 9th, 2025, salary per CSEA White Collar Collective Bargaining Agreement. This is effective July 9th, and again, it's the CSEA White Collar Collective Bargaining Agreement. I move for approval of this promotion, please.
Motion by Tom,
Second?
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks so much. Have an excellent evening. Thank you.
Councilwoman Zano.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, residents, board members. My report comes from our Recreation and Parks Department. I have 2 items tonight. First is Purchase Order 70-25-43. This is from Anago Cleaning Systems. This is the deep cleaning that will occur at Westlake High School once the 2025 summer camp ends. Total cost is $3,379. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second.
second by Lori. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And my second item is Purchase Order 70-25-44. This is from Top Maintenance Services LLC. This is for the deep cleaning that will take place at Columbus Elementary School once summer camp ends. And this includes buffing all the floors, putting sealers on. There's a whole map of the hallways and whatnot that needs to be done. Total cost is $7,390. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Danielle,
Second.
second by Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. That is all I have this evening.
Councilman Saraceno.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And I have one item from the Highway Department. This is Purchase Order 50-25-09. This is to vendor Camerata Truck Parts for a repair to our Street Sweeper Unit 1, repair of the differential, a rebuild, in the amount of $2,734.64. Camerata is based in Enfield, Connecticut, and came in the lowest of 3 quotes. With that, I move for approval.
Motion by Mark,
Second.
second by Danielle. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, and I'd like to publicly extend our deepest condolences, Mr. Supervisor, on your loss. And
Thank you,
a
Mark.
great loss to the world.
Thank you. I don't think we have anything, Chris. Town attorney.
I just would like to make one announcement. The police officers that I often have conversation with have asked that parents be on the alert. This is bike riding season, and it seems that a lot of our young people are out riding the bikes, which is normal for kids to do. Please remind them to wear helmets. We know that it's warm out. We know that they get hot and sweaty, but helmets are really important. Our roads are busy, as you know. Our children are out on their bikes. Please be safe. And for our drivers, please watch your stop signs. I've had many, many conversations with residents on local roads that we have to protect ourselves, but we also have to protect our children. So, thank you.
Thank you. Scheduled meetings, our next work session is Tuesday, August 5th at 7 p.m. Business session will be Tuesday, August 12th at 7 p.m. And if there be no further business from the board, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Tom,
Second.
second by Danielle. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Have a good evening.
Enjoy summer, everyone.